we want to talk about his new album and so much, but I'll give you a moment. Dee Rock, say hi to everybody.
Hey, what's happening out there in pandemic land? Hope everyone's doing great. Hope the lockdown hasn't drove you too crazy. And one thing for sure, we still got good music and stuff to listen to. We can't go to concerts, so I'm hoping to get my record out soon and let you get some of that good old mojo gumbo going in your living room.
That's the good stuff. That's the good. You know what? There's an interesting thing, Dee. You have huge amount of fans for a bazillion reasons, but I got to tell you something. That mojo gumbo and your energy is so awesome, and so it just feels like you could reach out and touch it. And I think, honestly, I want to give you that compliment. It's a beautiful thing about you that people just want to give you a hug. They want a hug from you. And
I want to give him a hug too. What the hell?
You got so much love. I love it. I love it. So that's like a testament to you, honey. And so before we talk about the new album, which we're going to talk about in a bit, I want to take people back because I think that they don't understand where the roots come for you. They know you as Outlaw, country, all types of different. You've got a huge amount of awards that you have earned. And that's a blessing. But tell me about why music. What brought you back in LA? What brought you into music?
It's real simple. Some people know my story. I won't go all around the mulberry bush, but I was raised in a family that was very down home, but at the same time, very eclectic. And luckily, I grew up with a dad that listened to everything from Count Basie to the Allman Brothers to Glen Campbell to Wes Montgomery. So I heard all that music going on in my house.
Yeah.
And it drove me wild. I mean, I would be in my old man's El Camino. We roll. We'll put on B.B. King at the Royale, you know. Then my dad would put on the Wichita Lineman. And, you know, then my old man would put on the Temptations. And he'd say, you know, I want to hear Ain't Living Long by Waylon. And for a Black family back then, you didn't find a lot of that. So, yeah, it became an issue sometimes because a lot of folks didn't want to get in the car with me and my dad. They didn't know what the hell we were going to put on. So it's like, yeah, I don't want to ride with them Black folks. They're weird. You know, we weren't just listening to just Motown. We were listening to everything. So that's kind of my background. And it helped me because, as you know, I got into films and television and doing music for a lot of different projects and producing. So my ear has been very keen my whole life. And I've been very fortunate to really know what I'm talking about when I talk about different genres of music and the elements that make it happen. And I'm not guessing, I really know what I'm talking about. And always learning. I mean, you know me, LA was a breeding ground for me to just learn and be blown away by all the people that I was able to meet coming up.
Yeah, which were a lot. And matter of fact, speaking of, is there one? I've heard all the stories. I love every one of them. But is there? So what this gives me visually? So you know, I see you with your electric guitar in black spandex, and back in the day.
That's not until I had my Tina Turner Thunderdome hairdo. Yes. Remember, in the 80s, I was rocking down the Sunset Strip with bands like Warrant, even Guns N' Roses. I used to rehearse right next door to Guns N' Roses. You know, yeah, right down in Burbank, and they be rehearsing right next door, and we go in and listen while they were doing their production for Welcome to the Jungle. I mean, wild times. I mean, wild times. Back, I mean, I was me and my homeboy Ronnie were rocking on the Sunset Strip at Gazzari's, had our mohawks, riding low, playing. We were like, I mean, we were doing it. I mean, it's just like, you know, we weren't the typical soul brothers. You know, we were down there with our boots on and rolling down Sunset, hanging out at Gazzari's. You know, I'm a part of that. It shaped me to what I do today. Yeah. You know, all that is a part of me coming up from, you know, my humble roots in the hood of Crenshaw and taking the bus up to Hollywood. But the spandex show picture you're talking about is when I opened up for Warrant out in Cali.
That's what it was.
You had to win. It was the 80s, baby. Come on, you know. You know, you had to fit in back then if you're going to get those shows on the Strip. But it was a good time. I had some good times, great times.
That was the good stuff. And you've got a whole bunch after that. But I will say, I would like to know where you have, I'll say, what's a good verbiage for it? You have such a faith-filled, loving personality that it's rare. I want you to know there are very few people that have this, and that is why you have, aside from your incredible talent, you have a huge amount of fans that stay in the day. Every morning I see a, hey, good morning, hope you have a great day. Not hey, it's been a tough blah blah blah.
Nah.
Where did it come from? You know, because I know that has a lot to do with your songwriting too, just as a human being. But where did that come from? That love?
Well, I knock on wood, and I thank the Lord above. You're not you're not promised anything in this world, and I was blessed to be in a damn good home. My home bringing is where it all starts. I had a dad that worked 3 jobs to make sure his family didn't have my father wasn't about getting on freebies. It wasn't about none of that. My dad went in the morning. He was an asphalt raker for the city. He came home and he worked at the post office, and he threw a paper out before he even got up and went to his day job that started at 6 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
So you can't grow up seeing someone with a work ethic like that, and then you have the nerve to complain. So that's always been my role. So when I'm complaining, how about getting it done? My dad I used to tell my dad sometimes, and this is, he's from the South. My mother and father are from Texas. So my dad always had these sayings. I said, wait, Dad. My dad would say to me, weight broke the wagon. That just was his way of like, are you kidding me? Let's get going. Let's do this. And just all these sayings, the Southern sayings that kept me going. So I'm never I'm never half glass empty. The glass is half empty in my life. It's always half full. And I'm hoping soon it will be overflowing. That's how I live. Yes. And anything less than that is being defeated in my eyes. So if I can pass it on, a handshake, a pat on the back. I know they can't do that nowadays, so we'll do an elbow bump or a fist bump, whatever. But it's all about spreading the good stuff. And as human beings, we crave the good stuff. And that's why I call it the Mojo Gumbo. Yeah. Good vibes is like gasoline in the tank. So if I can spread that anywhere I can, I'm happy. I'm not trying to be a rich man. That's never been my forte, never been my goal. To be comfortable and feel good about what I'm doing, and hopefully make people feel good about what I'm doing. That's it.
And you do.
Like I said, I told you I used to ride my horses. I'm all about moseying. I want to enjoy life. I'm not trying to get any place faster than the next guy, because I'm not in competition with anyone. I want to experience life, experience my friendships, spread some love, spread some joy, mistakes along the way, no question. But as long as it's done in a way where I'm not harming anyone and I'm being sympathetic, that's how I roll. That's it.
Yeah. And that everybody knows that. Well, maybe not everybody. They're going to know that now. I will tell you that I feel that from you every time we have lunch or dinner or just hang out. I feel like the world could be really challenging as it is right now. Yeah, and you're going to find the silver lining. And I think that's really a blessing. And it shows in your music, all the edges of your music. And so let's get to the music. So we've got a whole bunch of outlaw country awards and so forth. But I believe, because I've listened to your Mojo Gumbo, your soulfulness, your blues, your country, all of it together. The new album seems to have all elements. I know the old albums have as well, but the new album seems to have all of it in one big stew pot.
Yeah.
Is there a song that's sticking out for you in the new album that's just jumping?
I always do things to motivate myself. I'm stuck in the 70s, so everybody knows. No matter what happens, no matter what music comes out, I love stuff to happen in every year. Through the 80s, 60s, I love it. But the 70s speak to me for some reason. Just so many awesome bands.
Mm-hmm.
Not to take away from any of the bands in the 60s, not the cool stuff from the 80s. And Prince is probably my favorite artist of all time, without question. But the 70s, what I enjoyed about it, I'm a lone wolf in a lot of ways. I like my downtime. I like being by myself. I can be the life of the party, but I love my downtime when I can think and process things. And um, I remember the days when I would go through my dad's albums and read the liner notes. Who's this guy, Larry Carlton? He's on all these albums by the Great Jazz Crusaders. Wow. Oh my God. Here's Ray Parker playing on a song for Dave Mason. So I would go through liner notes and see all these great musicians. I was hearing all this great music. And I lost my train of thought, and that's just because of my burnout. But
that's okay. That's the way life goes. Don't worry, we're talking about your favorite song in Crenshaw Cowboy.
Yeah, but let me get back to my song. So what I was trying to do with this album, and I've been trying to do it. My first album when I came to Nashville, it's a great record, some great songs, and I actually rose to the occasion of being around so many amazing musicians in Nashville. LA was a different trip. That's a whole story in itself. I mean, getting able to work for Virgin Records and produce albums and handle budgets and bring in product that they can actually sell and put on the market. That's a big accomplishment when you come from where I come from, in the hood. And that was a big deal. I wasn't in the rap. I was the brother with the cowboy hat and the boots on. Yeah. I got laughed at by everybody. What's wrong with this dude, man? Hey, what's happening, brother? You must be the Black Roy Rogers, No. I mean, all that, but it never fazed me because I was being myself, so I could care less. Yeah. If they got comedy out of it, great. I hope it made their day. But I was styling and profiling with my Stetson hat on and my boots on. I was sharp all the time.
Yes, you were.
Got my first Telecaster shoot. I thought I was playing with Jerry Reed. I was like, damn, I got a Telecaster. This is awesome. But okay, I digress. Let me get back to the new album.
That's good.
The new album. I think I finally, what happens? I find for me personally as an artist, if too many hands are involved, I lose what I was going for. I'm not the type of artist that needs a lot of people to do a lot of things for me. I'm not the best guitarist, no way. But I do know what I want to hear played on my guitar. And if I play it myself, I'll get that. So what has happened, the first album, I had the best guys in Nashville, and they're all great friends of mine now. I'm talking about some of the best musicians that played on the Grand Ole Opry. People like Buddy Hyde, who's amazing. Yes. Buddy's like a dear friend. He's like my brother. And I love that guy. I mean, he's amazing. I've grown by being around him. My producer, Tom Payton, who worked with Tammy Wynette, Faith Hill, Kenny Rogers, George Strait. I've grown from being around these people. But I've also grown knowing what my direction is. Because coming to Nashville, I was piggybacking off of the music that I made on the TV shows. I tended to do more biker shows. And I had this kind of Southern rock sound with soul. And I brought that here, and I kind of compromised and went a little more on the countryside. I love country music. I love traditional instruments. I love the stories. I love the melodies. Mm-hmm. But I also love Motown. So I can't just do one thing. And I think the sooner I got back to doing it myself, I could put all the elements I needed to hear in my music. Yeah. That's not saying that there are great producers who could probably make me sound great, probably amazing. It just wouldn't be me. And that's where I come from with my music. So I don't want a lot of people touching it. Mm. I want some feedback from people I trust, but I don't need a bunch of different ideas because I hear it already. And you might play an amazing bass line or amazing keyboard part. That's not what I'm looking for. I need this. And I think with that being said, it's helped me come into my own. This third record here, as an independent artist, you know how it is. We're not all over it. We're not getting 1 million listens and all that stuff. But the good thing about it is that all my records will be new to someone because I don't have that mass promotion, because I'm not on the airwaves. So whichever album they find of mine, I hope it will lead them to the next album. Yes. And by the time I'm pushing up daisies, maybe I've put a decent collection together that folks might want to listen to or stumble upon, as the world keeps turning. So, but the new album I'm very excited about. Man, I'm excited about it.
I have to say first, I have to interrupt you and say you say when you're pushing up daisies, you have already created incredible music that just touches everybody. Whether it's a drive in the car and you're having a good day, or a drive in the car and you're having a tough day, or whether you're falling in love or falling out of love, you have a song for everything, which I think is really.
I appreciate it, and I mean that means a lot to me.
So whatever's coming on, you already did that. But I will say this is something that people don't know.
Yes.
That you did come from LA to Nashville, and why? Yeah. Tell me why Nashville? What happened in that transition?
You know what? Let me get back to when I first got my first production gig. Yeah. There's a studio on Beverly Boulevard out in LA, not far from the Beverly Center I was working at one day. And Paula Abdul was down the hall working on her second album. And the first single off that album was called Rush. And I forget the three people that produced that album. We became good friends. It's been a while. They're New Yorkers. But I'd go in there, listen to Paula's music. We'd have coffee, we'd talk. And the head of A&R came to the studio and heard music blasting out of my room and said, "Hey, what you doing in there?" And a British lady from England, she was the head of A&R at Virgin. And she came in and said, "Wow, this is some pretty darn good music." So what are you doing with it? I said, "I'm just brush up on my chops." I used to book studios and book 10 hours a day and have the second engineer teach me how to work the board. So I'd go into the knee flying fader room and have the engineer teach me how to work the board because I couldn't afford to go to a recording class. Then I booked 10 hours 3 days later and learned to work the Harrison board. I do the same thing on the weekend, learn to work the SSL board. That's how I learned to make my own music and be self-sufficient. And that's what I did. Say, "Hey man, it's me and you for 10 hours. Show me how this thing works." And that's what they did.
Oh, that's cool.
So she walks into the studio and there's Paul Abdul and they come in and listen. So, "Well, there's some cool stuff." And she said, she gives me her card, just like in the movies. "I want to see you in my office next week." I said, "Wait a minute, this is like, are you kidding me? I'm going to Virgin Records and have a meeting for my music? That's amazing." I take the meeting. I had a partner at the time. I won't get into that. We worked together on a lot of stuff. But when we sat down, we got the coffee, we got the full treatment. We walk into Virgin Records. We get escorted to the head of A&R's office. We sit down, and then I can still hear that British accent. She says, "I'm listening to this music, and you guys are going to be perfect for the new group we signed." And she said, "Who's that?" "Well, we signed our first rap act called the College Boys." Now, I don't even listen to rap. It's not my thing. I mean, I appreciate what they do, and it's a talent without question. It's just not my thing. A few beats will get me rocking. I'll get on the dance floor and get my groove on. You know that.
I know you will.
At that time, I wasn't listening to rap. Hotel, motel, Holiday Inn. That's all I knew. And now I'm offered a gig from a major label to produce a rap act. I've been a damn fool to say no, and I took the gig. Yeah. I took that gig.
Like, I will take this gig. Yeah.
And it put me in with Virgin Records. The presidents came over. They were from Warner Brothers, and an old friend of mine, Lenny Kravitz, was signed to the label. Got to hang out with him at the label, and those are other stories I've told you about with Lenny, and some good times, and hanging out with him upstairs when he got back from England, and he just done some shows with John Paul Jones and Robert Plant. I'm upstairs in the video room watching, and here I am sitting there with Lenny, and the president of the label comes in. "Who are you?" "I'm the one producing your rap act. I'm Dee Rock." So, "Oh man, right on, bro." Here I am hanging out with, some pretty cool cats, and it served me well. I learned that relationships matter. Talent, yes, you got to have the talent, but if you can't make the relationships, you're not going to make it in this industry. Because if no one wants to be around you, they're not going to work with you. And luckily, I like people, and people tend to like me. So it was a good venture. And from there, I moved on, did work over at Hollywood Records and Warner Brothers, and ended up getting into doing TV and soundtracks, things like that for different movies. I had a movie at Warner Brothers called Divas that I worked on, and some American Chopper and Great Biker Build Off. And I actually got to sing the theme song to a show called Southern Steel Milwaukee Iron. So when you watch that show, they're in reruns now. One of the guys passed away, so the show's not around anymore. But "'Cause I'm a man made of southern steel," that was me singing the theme song. So we'd sit in the bar out in Burbank. And oh my God, we count down because Dee Rock is about to come on TV. And everybody in the bar would say, hey, turn it up. And the thing this week, the builders from Southern Steel will be building a bike for Leonard Skinner and Shaquille O'Neal on the next episode. Then I would come on, they would play the song.
Yeah.
And everybody in the bar would sit back and they'd listen to the music, the TV blasted. It just was a good time, a really good time. So what were we talking about? I'm just rambling.
No, I love that. And that's what people want to hear. I'm digging the heck out of that. So what does it feel like when you're okay? So, you get this wonderful gig to do anything for TV and you're and you're producing it. What do you, when you're writing it, what do you do? What are you sitting on the couch? For everybody who's watching. Oh, by the way, Dee, so we have to say we've got Dave, Paulette, a big shout out to Bonnie and Sharon. David Passmore's in there too.
That's my buddy. That's my boy, David.
Yep. Hey, buddy.
We got a song I'll tell you about later.
Yeah, exactly. And Amory, let's see. April Rucker, hey baby. So we've got a lot of people watching.
We got April. Whoa, April. That's a talent and a half right there. Lord have mercy.
Yeah, right. April Rucker. Oh, she's awesome.
Yeah.
So if you're still watching, April, I don't know if you're still with us, but doggone it all, you are. Wow. Yeah. And Connie Cassell Tuck is there too. So big old right love on. To you all.
If Rick James was here, he'd say, holy smokes and gee whiz.
Wow. Okay, so anyway, anything that can get me to go wow during this wonderful COVID-19 experience is good. Okay, so I digress, but we had to give love to people in the chat room.
Okay, right on. Thank you.
That's super duper.
I appreciate everybody who's hanging out with me. I will get my technology together. I'm old school, but I'm going to be new school pretty soon. So hang with me.
Exactly. I'm working on my new school. Brand new song.
Okay. Yeah, that might be a new one. Okay. But okay, you were talking about the TV stuff. You know what happens? I worked with a young kid who just was amazing. And it was a cool thing because I came from Southern rock and he came from more of a classical background. And a particular person out in California farms out a lot of these shows that are reality shows. And I was fortunate to work with this young musician. And did I lose some lighting?
Nope, you're cool. We see you.
Okay, cool. I was very fortunate to get that gig and then moved on to some other gigs. And then my dear friend, I won't get into how it started, but I started doing music for Beachbody.com.
Oh,
Power 98. Yeah, so I started doing music for the infomercials. Order now, $29.95. If you order now, we'll knock off one payment. Now that's my music in the background. People work. If you're working out to Slim and Six with Debbie Severs, you're working out to my music. If you have that video, you're doing your 30-minute workout to me. So that's it's all been some very cool stuff.
Go on with your bad self. I didn't know that.
Yeah. They've made some changes since then, but if you have, they keep upgrading. But one of the biggest sellers for a long time was that Slim and Six until Power 98. Then Tony Horton and them came along with Tyre, and I'm doing that music, and so it all was cool. And the Nashville thing, I never believed I'd leave LA. It wasn't my plan. Yeah. But a woman who to this day I knock on wood, and her name is Jody Dickey, and I cannot tell you, my life would not be the same. Well, let me say there are three people my life would not be the same. This is a little diversion, but show you how things happen in your life that you never, ever planned and changed everything. I walked into a bar in Burbank because a friend of mine wanted to say a hello to a friend who just got married recently. So I walk into the bar and I meet a woman named Barbara Landsberger. She's got her cowboy hat on, she's got her jeans on, got a big old rodeo belt on. And I got my Resistol cowboy hat and I walk in and say, hey, cowboy, what you doing? Hey, just hanging out. Congratulations on your wedding. She gives me a jacket. She's here. First shot's on me. Jack and Coke. Boom. And I said, wow, look, I love horses. So around her cash register were all these pretty horses, Pates and Soros and Appaloosas. Those were all her horses. And she said, those are my horses. She says, you ride? I said, no, I wish I did. I don't have access. Come out to the ranch. You can ride anytime you want. That moment, my life changed completely. I was in the saddle as often as I could. I wrote songs in the saddle, and I started playing guitar again. I stopped playing guitar and just using it as a means to produce and to help artists. I wasn't out pursuing music as an artist. Right. I was just being, as I tell Anne-Marie Shea, who I'm working with, she's a 14-year-old, yeah. I was just the fifth Beatle for so many people. If people understand what the fifth Beatle is.
I know that.
So I became the fifth Beatle. I can help you go where you want to go. And I won't change your style. I'll just kind of nudge you enough to keep you on track, and that's what I did. But when I met Barbara, there was a place called the Hideaway in Cagle Canyon.
Yes, you told me.
And on Sunday, they had the jam. Now, listen to this. The Sunday jam was some of the best cats in LA that played country music. I'm blank right now for some of the names, but
yeah.
Legendary, Delaney Bramlett would come sing on Sundays at this bar that I would ride my horse up to.
Oh, you ride your horse to it?
We'd all take the horses and we ride up to the bar. It'll be about a 4-hour ride, and we go to the bar and ride. Cool. So, but here I run into Delaney Bramlett. Delaney said, man, you're a cool cat, man. I like where you picked that guitar. And little did I know he was my neighbor. He said, I see you riding past my house sometime, man. Pleasure to meet you, Dee Rock. I'm like losing my mind because Delaney Bramlett should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame right now with Bonnie and Delaney. Yeah. So I'm meeting Delaney Bramlett, and I'm like blowing my mind. I'm hanging out with these guys at the Hideaway. All these things are starting to put me back into wanting to do music again, besides just producing and writing. Yeah. Maybe it's time for me to do my own damn thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, here comes Jody Dickey. She hears a few of my little internet songs back. I just put one out. Sneak it out there and see what people think. Mm-hmm. I didn't know, but I hope they like it. She says, "Do you mind if I play a few of these songs on my station?" I said, "You're kidding me." Yeah. So she starts promoting me and just helped me. And she introduced me to a producer named Brandon Lynn Shane. And Brandon calls me up, 2008, before Christmas. And he says, "Hey, Dee Rock, this is Brandon Lynn Shane." And I'm not being fun of the accent. I'm just giving a little bit of what it sounded like, Yeah. He was a Southern cat. And he said, "Hey, Dee Rock, this is Brandon Lynn Shane out of Nashville, Tennessee. Why don't you give me a call? Brother, what the hell are you doing in Los Angeles? You need to get out to Nashville." And he says, "I love what you do, man. You got a Southern soulful sound, man. Call me in the new year, and Merry Christmas." Here we go, 2009. Yeah. We're in conversation, and he starts sending me songs from publishers in Nashville. Yeah. I'm getting songs. I said, "What? That's the guy that wrote songs for Jason Aldean." He said, "Yeah, sure is." He said, "You can use it if you want." I said, "What?" So I'm learning how the Nashville thing works. All the publishers, and they bring the, yes. I'm getting all these songs. So, make a long story short, Brandon passes away before I get a chance to meet him. Oh. So in my mind, Nashville's over with. I'm never going. I don't know anybody there. But then I get a call about a month later from a man named Tom Payton, who's a dear friend, amazing writer. Tom Payton, you are the reason I'm able to do what I do here. You showed me the ropes. You introduced me to the right people. And I know all the A-list cats and can call them in a second. And I'm so honored. I'll never forget, I walked in the studio, and I won't say the name of the musician, but he plays at the Grand Ole Opry. And he's one hell of a freaking fiddle player. I walk in.
I know who you're talking about.
I walk in, he says, hot damn, we're cutting with a black dude today. And I never forget that and they were like so jazzed to cut something. They were so jazzed to cut something beside what they've been cutting so often. They do it in their sleep. They're so good.
Yeah.
And I had enough respect where I could give them my input. I wasn't just sitting around watching this A-list of musicians do their thing. I said, hey, can we stop that? Let's start with the Wurlitzer instead of just coming in together. You sure? Yeah, I like that. Let's do this. And it was very cool to get that acceptance from them. And I've digressed again because I'm long-winded. Forgive me. That's a trait.
Love it. Are you kidding?
That's
By all means.
Being long-winded is a trait my daddy passed on to me. He never met a person that wasn't a friend. So that's kind of how I am too.
Cheers, you're not alone. I will tell you that I for the first time, and I'm interrupting, but I want to throw this out there. When we did the show in Missouri, so very few people, or some of you who were watching, may know that
with Blackberry Smoke.
For Blackberry Smoke. So we did Memphis Delta Fest for Blackberry Smoke, and then Missouri, what was it? Santa Cali Gone.
Yes.
And it was such an awesome experience. Both experiences were really awesome because
that was a great day.
We got to experience time on stage together, and your set and my set. And what was really interesting was after, like, it was actually Santa Cali. I always say it weird. Santa Cali Gone. It's bizarre, but that was a great moment to see how the fans jibed with the energy. It was I loved every second of it, and so I was out. During your set, I was out giving like the hoorah in the audience, dance or cat. But I will tell you, afterwards, to see the vibe and the feel of what is truly you, people freaking love that. So the reason I'm saying this is because it's taken me a long time in the industry, especially as an artist. And for those of you who are watching who are artists, it's taken me a long time to just be me and enjoy being that moment. You seem to do that brilliantly, Dee. You do. It's taken a while for me. I feel like I've lost a couple of years in it, but I've learned a lot from you, Dee.
Well, you know how I am.
Yes.
And I kind of roll my own way and don't give a damn. I really don't. I don't. I'm going to do it my way or not do it at all. God put this music in my heart.
Yes.
And it's in your heart and your soul for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Not to compromise it, not to try to make it fit in, but to bring it how only you can bring it. No one can bring it like you but you.
Yes. There's only one you.
So when I tell you, I say, hey, I don't copy nobody. I ain't got no coattails. And you don't ever have to worry about me trying to do something somebody else did. There's only so many notes in music. So you can't help but cross-pollinate with your influences. Yes. But you'll never see me just grab something and try to call it my own, knowing that someone did it years ago. I don't do that. But I don't have a problem with you enjoying the influences that made me who I am today. That's what I like to do. But let me say this. I remember one time I was at the Sunset Strip and I was playing at the Whiskey A Go-Go.
Whiskey.
And things kind of got out of hand. I was at an age where I didn't steer my ship as tightly as I do now. So my band and all the groupies and people that were in the dressing room, it was like a Spinal Tap moment. No joke.
Oh wow.
And I'm temperamental. I try not to be. When it comes to my art, I try to be very easygoing with it. And I usually am. But something ticked me off that night. I remember the guy saying, "You get out there, or you're not going to play your whole set." I said, "No, what you don't realize? It's my set. So get out of my dressing room and let me do what I'm going to do, please." And by him saying that, I said, "Guys, I know we've been rehearsing my music, but guess what we're going to do? In tribute to George Clinton, we're going to go play Cosmic Slot for 20 minutes and say goodnight." He said, "Are you kidding me?" I said, "No, that's what I feel like. That's what I feel like doing right now. What about the songs we rehearse? Not going to play them tonight. We're going to go play some George Clinton P-Funk, for 30 minutes, how long as they want to keep dancing, and we're done. And I played Cosmic Slop for damn near 35 minutes. They were going crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy. I played one song that night. And I sat on that stage and said, you know what? That's what Jim Morrison would do. He's played here. That's what Jimmy would do. He's played here. That's what Zeppelin would do. They've played here. So no compromise. Always be an artist. Do what makes you feel good. If it feels good for you, it'll feel good for your fans and the people out there. I'll never forget. They made us come back for an encore, and all we played at that point, we played Maggot Brain, and we closed out the night. That was it. And my band had rehearsed my song. I paid for rehearsal all week long. So my band could learn my songs. We could be tight. And because of a certain way that the promoter spoke to me that hit me wrong, it just hit me the wrong way for that moment. We played George Clinton, and it's a night I'll never forget to the day I die. It was beautiful.
Amen.
And that's how I roll. That's just how I do it. And I'm nobody special. Let me tell you.
Yeah, you are.
I
disagree. How you like that?
What I mean is that with the access to all these, the internet makes anybody an artist today.
I agree.
So as long as you can make a little music and get it on one of these platforms, you're an artist. Right. And it's different from the day when they went out and found that Prince or they found that Fleetwood Mac.
Right.
Today, it's about how many likes you can get or how many fans you can muster up on your fan page. That doesn't make you a better artist. But because you may be a millennial or you know how to do certain things better than the next artist, it appears you're better. But that's not how I look at it. I see so many artists out there say, man, this guy just wow, so sad he's coming up in this age because Warner Brothers and Ted Templeman would have produced that guy and he'd be a superstar. But that's what we're living in today. You know, that article you showed me, the Steve Lukather the Road.
Yes.
Hands down. He was so right. And I honor folks of that stature that can tell the truth still about this industry.
Yeah.
And it's sad, but we do the best we can. You know, I'm not going to get rich at this. Please understand, guys, when I ask you to spend $10, it's only so I can make another record. Yeah. That's all. Or put some gas in my car to get to the studio. I ain't getting rich doing this.
That is no BS. When I say to the people who are watching you right now that I know you well, and I know artists well, but I know you well.
Yeah.
When you say, can you pay for an album, it is because you want to go pay for a song or pay for the full album. It's because you want to go back into the studio and do more in the future. And that is a rarity. And I want to say to an audience of people, that is a blessing because there are very few artists right now who just say, hey, I just want to be able to go back in and do it again. And I want to do it again. Because it's helping you and me and everybody when you do it, Dee, when we all do it. And by the way, right now, wouldn't you agree that a lot of people are either flowing with emotion or they're completely blocked
totally.
As artists?
It's hard not to be because you're this. What happens is that the music, we do it for the music first and foremost. When I was 22, no question, I did it for chicks and adulation. But as you get older, you realize that the opportunity and the talents you have is God-given. So don't squander it. Make sure there's some purpose behind it, and let it flow so folks can get the feeling you got from making it. Yes. So when you buy a single and you don't hear how I put the songs together so you can enjoy the ride I put together, those days are over. We can go buy that Boston album and listen to the entire album and get the vibe that they wanted you to feel. So nowadays you pay $1.29 for the single, but we can't put together the mojo gumbo that we want you to feel because the way the industry works today. Single here, single there. I come from an era where I love listening to how Prince sequenced his album around the world and or how he sequenced his album, 1999.
1990, yep.
I'll never forget. I said, oh my God, when I first heard Little Red Corvette, I said, man, what the hell is that? It blew my mind. When I heard, I sat there and said, oh my God, the keyboards came in. I said, and I want that feeling again. So I try through my own music as well as I can. I hope I'm hitting it just a little bit for my friends and fans to get the feeling I'm getting, the joy I'm getting from the music. Because I'll tell you, I remember putting on that when I first heard the Pretenders and they blew my mind. I said, oh my God, who the hell is this group? Chrissy Hine, where did she come from? And I sat there and put that album in my hand. I read the notes, got brass in pocket. Oh man, I was rocking out. Seriously.
Yes.
And I want that feeling to come back. It seems now that we're in a state where people get all these great songs to make a record, but it's so impersonal. I'm not getting why you made the record. You're singing great songs, beautiful, and those songs are soothing and they're wonderful. But beyond that, I'm missing that connection of artistry that we used to get. Yeah. And I'm not downplaying. There's so many artists out there who are great. Just for me, I'm missing that connection of who's gonna put me on that magic carpet ride and let me feel that good stuff. And let me go listen to let me go put on some Bobby Womack, kick back and listen to some good old Womack. Let me go put on some rock. Let me go put on the Faces and listen to Gasoline Alley. I miss those days, and I miss that music.
And we need shout out even further into it. And we have to talk to the chat room in a second because they're talking to us. But we need that from our artists, and more so than that, we need that from the fans. I want the fans to look for more than just a good song. Look for the good story, the journey through. Right, you got to go through it to get to it. That's how I've always said that in my life. And I've always known that if you want to get to it, you got to go through it. And therefore, an album back in the day, we would be able to listen to A side, B side, but we would look. Oh man,
oh my God,
you're getting me. I'm standing up in my chair because I get frustrated because people expect to be given everything, and I'm just going to call it like it is. And if it's bad, I just don't care. I'm gonna try on a Dee Rock moment here. The people expect just to get it, and you just get it for free, and you just listen to it and move on. And it's just there is an entire journey. Like if you listen to your albums, there's an entire journey behind the album. Dee,
the songs are in a certain order for a reason.
Yes, my original album, Love Me Out Loud, was for a reason. The whole and yes,
there's a reason. There's a reason after battle. There's a reason after battle.
Up, D.
There's a reason after I did Battle Scars. My song called "Dancing on the Edge" comes on. There's a reason behind it. I didn't just close my eyes and pick a song. I listened to which sequences felt better, hoping that the listener would get the same vibe I'm getting right now. I've tried different songs in a row. That doesn't work. This sequence works. And we're missing that today because, it's a different industry. I understand that. I'm not going to gripe about it. That's what I'm living in. But in my world,
or maybe we're not holding them accountable, Dee.
Well, what's happened, it's sad, but we've come into the age of streaming. So you can stream a song and not have to own it. See, we used to want to own that album.
Yeah.
I wanted to own that album and read who played on it.
Yes.
Read who wrote it. Who did the artwork on George Clinton album. I want to see that. Those days are not here anymore.
Yeah.
We're past that these days. And so in the future, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is going to really be a trip because as music keeps moving forward, I got to see who really gets in there. I don't know. I mean,
because we have no idea. They layer it so deep.
But let me say something else.
Wait, real quick before you say that, I want you to scream out to the people because this particular topic has lit up the chat room.
Has it really? Right on. Thank you.
Amplified sound. You got that, Cat. Some artists are taking these challenges and making art no matter what the situation. So when we were talking about the challenging moment of being blocked or not.
Well, you know what? The wonderful thing about being an indie, we don't have the conglomerate trying to get their money back.
Yes.
Putting
Most
out the
indies
wrong
don't know how blessed they are.
I mean, I would love a week of airplay. You're hitting millions of people, millions. So when you hear that song, they say, oh my God, what the hell is this? We might say that, but because you're hitting millions of people, there's an audience for that new act.
Absolutely. Somebody else is going, I really love this.
So understand when we know when we put an album out, we're not going to have that promotion. We're not going to have that millions of people listening in the first week it comes out.
Yeah.
But with the energy and gratitude and fortitude, I cannot wait for whoever hears my album.
I'm
hear my new album.
Thrilled. It's because it's going to knock them on their behind. Wait, Paulette Lamourie says, come back to the whiskey. That's Paulette. Paulette.
Oh, I'm
Lamourie. She says, come back to the whiskey.
2021, honey. We're doing it.
Boom. Dave Moulter says, yes, the thrill of listening to the entire album and being able to read the liner notes without a magnifying glass. That's so true. And then David Passmore says, I love writing songs with you all. Tell Kat about the song idea in your pajamas at Kroger.
Okay.
Pajamas at Kroger?
Yeah.
I'm going to love that. But anyways, I want to, it's so important because these people who are with us and listening to us in this journey right now have written music. Like David Passmore has written several songs with Dee Rock and several others up and down the stream. It's important to share that moment.
Well, I'm not much of a collaborator. And I say that because my first album, I only had 5 of my own songs on my first album of 10. The next album, I said, no way will I ever do that again, because I hadn't defined my direction yet. I'm not interested in getting in with publishers. I could care less.
Yeah.
Because I'm not looking for a song to sing. I'm looking to sing the feelings I need to get across to you.
Yes.
So I'm not looking for the hit song called Down on the Farm in the Creek. That might be badass and it might make $1 million seller. I just don't want to sing it.
Why'd you have to call it Down on the Farm in the Creek?
I don't want to sing it because that's not my mission. My mission is to explain to you that I came from Crenshaw Boulevard.
Yes,
I came from the hood.
Ugh.
I took the RTD bus up to Sunset Boulevard to go hang out with the group War when I was a kid and watch them rehearse, Cisco Kid and hang out with these guys. My story is not a story that a publisher can give me a song. Now, sometimes they do have a great song that you can't get away from. Like, my God, if that song touches me, let me not misspeak here.
Yeah.
If it hits me in the heart, I'm going to do it.
Yes.
But most of the time they're written to be a hit rather than something that's deep. Now I'm gonna tell you,
but before we end tonight, explain to people what that means. For the people who are listening, what is written to be a hit versus what a song there's, and
well, I'm just saying there's a lot of songs that are just fun to listen to while you're going down the highway. Let's go. Those are hit songs. But when I hear Tim McGraw sing Live Like You Were Dying, oh my God. Whoever wrote that song, I'd be blessed to do that song.
Yes.
That's a beautiful song. That's what I want to portray as an artist.
Because that's real. It speaks.
I don't want to, I'm not a badonkadonk guy. I probably wouldn't, but hey, it might have made $1 million, just not what I want to sing.
But it's also why you love the 70s, because a lot of the music in the 70s or late 60s and the 70s really, it has a real heartfelt meaning.
Well, they wrote songs that they weren't trying to write hits. If you get a chance to watch the documentary on Kansas,
yes,
it will blow your mind, because the record company kept looking for that hit, but Kansas kept making good music. And then the story of what's the hit song? Go Your what's that?
Go Your Own Way.
No, that's
Your Own Way. That's not good. No, that's not. I'm sorry. I'm spacing. Does that mean we're both having a sometimes moment?
Carry On Wayward Son.
Thank you.
This documentary shows how they didn't have any hits, but they were building that fan base and they stuck with them. And I just love hearing those stories, because back then the record company stood by the artist that they thought was going to be a sensation.
Yeah.
You know, if it was, who knows if we could get a Fleetwood Mac or a Prince today? Would they stick with them long enough to build that fan base and that audience? You know, the industry's changed so much. You know.
Yes, it has.
But getting back to the songwriting.
And scream out to and
getting back to David, my friend David Passmore and Connie. Connie I met at a pre-Josie Award party, and it was a blessing. The Lord put certain people in your path for a reason.
Yeah.
And I knew when I met her, I'd be writing songs with her. I met David Passmore because of a TV show that I was a part of that the creator passed away, Booley, who I love and dedicate my Wild Mustang to. That song, Wild Mustang, to this day, and I have a few people on stage that profess, the spirit was in the room that day because I sang Wild Mustang at the Josie Awards at the Schermerhorn Theater, and no one else is singing, but there's a harmony to my vocal that's happening. And we're looking around, no one else is on the microphone but me. So we brought the spirits that day. Those are the things that make me just live in wonderment of this music and creating and bringing those vibes, bringing the spirits, bringing the faith to what we do. So getting back to Passmore, David, when the fires in Gatlinburg broke out, David Passmore, who's my dear friend and brother, contacted me and said, Dee, let's do a song so we can raise some money for the victims of the fire in Gatlinburg. Yes. And I've got my pajamas on, basically my hush puppies and my sweatsuit. That's my thing.
Yeah, I know.
So, here I am at midnight shopping at Kroger, and the phone rings.
Oh, that's where the Kroger thing comes in. Okay.
And I say, what's up, Dave? Brother, I got a song. Check out these lyrics. So he sends me the lyrics, and I'm looking at the lyrics while I'm shopping. And they're called Mountain Strong. And, I'm going shopping. I'm looking at the lyrics. I'm coming up with a melody. And I called David back in about 35 minutes. I said, dude, I got the melody for this song, and it's going to be a bluegrass song. He said, what? Yeah, it's going to be bluegrass.
Yeah.
He said, yes, brothers like bluegrass too.
By the way, that's a good name of a song right there. Sorry.
So I said, David's going to be a bluegrass song, man. I hear it. And Connie Cassell Tuck had written with David on this song. So as we started putting the song together, we had a few incarnations of it. We put it together a few ways until I finally got it put together with the bluegrass musicians. And we got David's sister-in-law to sing it. Beautiful vocal. And when you just got a song that's just touches folks. And I was honored to write that song with them, Mountain Strong.
Yeah.
It's just a beautiful song. And it won Song of the Year, the 2017 Josie Music Awards and the Bluegrass Americana category.
Yeah.
And that's something I take with me till I'm not breathing anymore. I actually won an award for Song of the Year. My God.
Which is extraordinary. And David's saying right now, "You Are My Brother." So he's singing, so amplified sound is Anne Marie. I didn't know that was Anne Marie. Hey, Anne Marie, honey, Pacerno. So she said that was an awesome performance with the Schermerhorn.
I love Anne Marie. Oh my God, she's amazing.
She just gave you kudos for the performance at the Schermerhorn. She's awesome.
Oh, thank you, honey.
True.
That was very inspired that night because we had just lost Booley earlier that year, and she was there. Her spirit was in the room with us, and Mr. Victor Gage, who does the native chant on Wild Mustang, and we had the native drums. So we brought the native drum playing that day. He starts off with the Lakota Sioux chant, and I had David. I had Miami and her boyfriend David on stage with me that day. Wild Man People on guitar with me. David was also on native drum. And I had my two native sisters, my Cherokee Eastern Band sisters with me, Allura and her dear friends dancing with me on stage. So we brought a vibe that was just, oh my God, it made the hair stand up on my arms that just performing it. And they're dancing in their full regalia, and it was just an amazing performance. And I got to perform it once again, and had my good friends and musicians come in from Missouri, and we played it again in 2017. It was just as wonderful. And that year is the year we won Song of the Year for Mountain Strong. Connie Costello Tuck, she is an amazing vocalist. Every award she gets, she deserves. And like I said, I'm not big on collaborating because sometimes it feels like people stepping on your toes or stepping on your ideas. It's a certain flow that comes with collaborating. And I've been in scenarios that the flow was not good and it was not enjoyable. Yeah. So for me, some words are not my forte. I can tell a story. It takes a little longer for me. Music is my forte. But when I'm telling my story, it's a lot easier. This album, let me get back to the new album.
Yes, because I before we close you out, because I want to make sure that people know where to get it and to talk about the depth of it. It's very important.
It's not out yet. I'm hoping to have it out before, in the next 3 to 4 weeks. It will be released on Dr. John's Surgery Records out of England. Yep. They'll be distributing the record and promoting it. This will have 8 songs on it, and I'm kind of Dixie in the head a little bit. So I said 8 songs. I'm used to doing 10. So what I did, I punched up how many great albums only had 8 songs on them. And if you pull that up on Google, you'll be blown away how many amazing albums only had 8 songs. I was worried I wasn't giving the fans enough. But so, and it started naming all these Grammy Award-winning albums that only had 8 songs. So I felt good.
Yes.
I felt better about doing 8 songs. So,
yeah. Amen.
So, the single, and let me say this, I've got 3 songs for folks to hear now, but after the album comes out, I'll just be doing partial streamings. I might do a few streams on Spotify because I'm trying not to get people used to just listening to the music for free. I would really love for folks to spend that $10.
Amen.
I'm not going to beg anybody to buy it, but I sure don't think the investment should call for just streaming it.
Yeah.
That's just what I believe, you know.
And I'm going to piggyback that statement and say that most people who listen nowadays, they don't recognize that the indie artists are actually fronting their journey. They're fronting their music. And in your particular case, I know you work your buns off and your music is incredible and you hire incredible people to produce and be around your journey. And you are the CEO of your music. And it's a journey for people to listen to and actually take a moment out and endure a life. I say that's what comes to mind, endure a life, because life is so challenging right now. So what helps you get through this moment? Well, sometimes it really is an album. It's 8 songs, it's 5 songs, it's 2 songs, it's 3 songs. I listened to Mary Chapin Carpenter today. I listened to 1 song over and over again on repeat. Did it make a difference to me? Yes. Did I pay for the song? Yes, I paid for it. Even though it's Mary Chapin Carpenter, I paid for it because you know what? It is the right thing to do. And I'm finally at that moment as a musician and as a human being where I want to say to everybody, if you want to continue to get incredible performances like what you give, incredible music and journeys and experiences like what you give, Dee, it is the right thing to do to spend 99 cents, because what you don't see is these artists are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to put these out so that you can feel something. And I get a little bit heated about it, and it bothers me intensely. And I'm heated about it because I see people feeling, and they see some stars. There's a whole different financial bracket there. It's nothing is for free, and we know that. But you get these indie artists like yourself and myself who give our journey, but it's not for free, people. We have to pay for it too, and we're paying to give you a moment to feel something. And I
don't want folks to purchase music twice. I put the singles out just so you can see where I'm coming from and get ready for the gumbo that I'll be serving up once the album is done. I'm not asking anybody to go out there and just purchase these 3 singles.
I'm asking for them to purchase your singles. You don't have to ask them a darn thing, but I want them to.
That's cool. But I'm saying Dr. John's going to have an 8-song album very soon. And I want you to get the whole Mojo Gumbo. Get the whole servant. You know, listen to it. But let me get back to this. My new single is called Muddy Water. And man, am I blown away by the song, blown away by the writing. It's one of my favorite songs I've ever done. And I gotta say, when you put it on, if that gumbo don't make you want to get a servant, then I have missed the boat completely. I'm gonna tell you straight up. If you don't want to ditch up some of that gumbo, I done missed it big time. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, it's got a groove to make you want to move, and you're gonna feel this one. I'm gonna tell you. So looking forward to seeing you soon. The first thing I put out was called Code 45. I'm a patriot. I know folks know that, some don't. I believe in the Second Amendment. I'm gonna hold my word. You know, I want to protect my mama, my family, my goods. And the song is about basically on my hippie ride, my Code 45, like the West one, I will be done. But it's a cool outlaw country song that you will dig it. And the rest of the album, you'll have to buy to listen.
Yes.
I'm not going to stream anymore. But there are 3 songs just so you can get the flavor of it.
Yes, finally. Stream a little, and then they'll have to enjoy it. And so I want to tell you, because you can't see it, Dee. So Dave Moulter says, I do believe people think music just appears on the internet. Not sure they understand what goes into getting a song released when you're an indie artist. So that was Dave Moulter. And Anne-Marie said about your performance, it was the most unique performance on stage that night. Not just the music, but not just the music, but the costumes, the dancing, and the theme. And then we have J Blue J Jordan, and I'm
That's my buddy.
Okay, good. He said,
my homeboy out of Jacksonville.
He says, we
male vocals of the year blues last year.
Oh, okay. I should know. So J Blue says, yeah, we spend thousands producing our music. And then Paulette says, I sure hope you can do this Gathering of the Tribe concert. We're back.
Next July, baby. We're working hard to get it started. Yes. It's after I get this record down, I'll be able to focus 100% on it.
Amen. So, without ado, I know, we've had a wonderful walk down. Oh man, I don't even say just during your experience of music, but your life and your world. And I've enjoyed every second. I know so much about you, Dee, and I'm so glad that you were able to share a little more with not just fans, but friends and people who.
I just want folks to know that it doesn't matter where you come from. I come from the hood. I came from the avenues off of Crenshaw Boulevard. I came up where there were Crips and Bloods. I came up where there was some pretty rough times, but I was able to, with the love of good family and friends, not even look toward that stuff. And here I am today in Nashville making music for you guys, doing what's in my heart. I always wore my cowboy boots and they laughed at me, but I will always be the Crenshaw Cowboy, y'all. Always.
Yes. Stay tuned, you guys. Thank you so much for joining in. And I can't wait to Dee Rock. Let's everybody experience Crenshaw Cowboy. Stay tuned with us, and thank you for being with us this evening. Oh man, this was a special night for me. Dee Rock, thank you for being here, honey.
Peace and love, baby. Love you too. Love y'all too. Later.
Amen.
Thanks for joining us on CatSpan. We had a blast, and we thank you for all your questions. Come hang with us next week. Same time, same station.
We play the game to win. We refuse to lose. And we only get stronger and stronger. We're gonna dig deeper and deeper. We play the game to win.